Hey fam, what's good? What's good? I hope the show well and keeping safe. Welcome back to another one. Welcome back to another episode to where I will be sharing my thought processes on the DXY as well as the Nasdaq, right? Fam, listen, this is not any financial advice or anything like that, right? This is just simply me sharing my analysis. That's it. To those who found themselves really diving in and see whether our trades is finding itself playing out, you would see that we have been quite clean, right? We've been quite clean. But for this week, I'm gonna find myself being quite neutral. I'm gonna be quite cautious when it comes down to price, right? And yeah, other than that, let's dive into this beautiful pay. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you are gonna find yourself taking away something from this session. All right, so we are going to do a top-down analysis starting off from our DXY. So looking at current PA, we can see that we are quite overly extended towards the downside. It does look like our base is trying to find themselves flexing their muscles, and you know what, they're not trying, they actually have been flexing their muscles, and we are having a beautiful shift back towards the downside on the DXY, right? And currently we are finding ourselves tapping within a crucial area, right? Or near a crucial area, a beautiful, strong region right over there, right? Can we find ourselves coming all the way back down into this region for a potential further continuation move back towards the upside? Or will we find ourselves having a rejection from where current PA is, right? We still do have 22 days and 12 hours left for this candle to find itself closing. So there is still a lot that can find itself happening on this, on the DXY. So looking at current PA, what we are finding ourselves having right over here. Looking at wick structure, what we can see price did find itself doing is basically taking out the previous week's high, right? So looking at wick structure, we can basically see that we are having that beautiful, check this out, high, lower high, higher high. You always find yourself pointing out this right over there, and you say that, you know what, if our previous week's high or low has been taken out, you know what, there's a high possibility that we are going to find ourselves traveling in the opposite direction. Do you still think that we are going to find ourselves doing that? You know what, currently I am actually not thinking that, only based off how we find ourselves closing of this candle right over there, right? So it is super important to at least know, right, on how candles are finding themselves closing in terms of, momentum. For instance, if I'm basically going to look at wick structure, look at this over here, there we can see that we find ourselves taking out this previous week's high right over there, right? And we had a further continuation move back towards the upside, clean, right? We had a beautiful bullish engulfing candle right over here. We came back for the correction. Eventually, we found ourselves taking out the previous week's high right over there, right? Beautiful, strong bullish momentum. We had a further continuation move to the upside, right? To the downside, here we can see we took out the previous week's low right over there. We had a beautiful shift back towards the downside, right? We had a beautiful bearish engulfing candle. Now, this candle which we have found ourselves creating over here is not too convincing to me, right? So I'm looking at this as, you know what, we can potentially find ourselves still seeing a further continuation move back towards the downside, right? And ultimately, the area to which I have my eye out on is basically this region right over here. I do have my eye out on the lows as well, right? I do have my eye out on the lows as well, like these lows right over there. But at this current moment, I am looking at this previous volume imbalance we have found ourselves creating right over here. That we can see that price did find itself having a closure below. We came back above. So I'm looking at this area as an actual fake out, right? So I would actually like to see us have maybe some sort of a shift back towards the upside to do what? To go and create a wick, right? So that we can find ourselves filling up what we have found ourselves creating right over there, right? So that is what I'm seeing on the weekly time frame. And if I want to see that happen on the weekly time frame, you know what, my daily time frame needs to go hand in hand with that right over there. Now, we basically said that if we are going to see a closure above this candle right over here, there is a high possibility for us having a shift back towards the upside, right? And we can see we did have the closure above, and we can see, you know what, we had that beautiful pushback towards the downside. This candle right over here, we did find ourselves taking out the previous day's high, right? So I am quite confident that with this candle, we can potentially see some upside momentum, right? Now, just above price, we actually did find ourselves creating an area of supply right over there. So I won't be surprised if we can find ourselves coming all the way back up, back into our area of supply to basically have some sort of a shift back towards the downside, right? That right there will basically go hand in hand with the bias to which I am having on my weekly time frame, right? Even if we are going to look at these lows which we have found ourselves leaving, right, we can basically see that these lows, they are quite relatively equal as well, right? If I maybe can go on a lower time frame, you will see these lows quite clean. Check this out. Let's go to an H4 time frame. Look at this, right? We basically identified those right there. Look at these lows right over there. They are quite relatively equal as well. So you know what? I won't be surprised if we can see us have a beautiful shift to the upside and then have a beautiful dip back towards the downside on this beautiful pair called the DXY, right? But if we can see a closure above, this is where we will have, you know what, a further continuation move back towards the upside, at least back into our previous point of interest, which we basically pointed out on the daily time frame, which is this order block we have found ourselves leaving right over there. Okay, so a closure above will basically lead for some further continuation move towards the upside. But you know what, I would actually like to see us hold this area for a potential shift back towards the downside and then potentially look for some upside momentum. All right, so let's scale to our DX, well, our NASDAQ, right? Let's head over to the NASDAQ. So let's start off from the monthly as well. Let's start from the monthly. So on the NASDAQ, right, we can see that we do have 22 days and 10 hours left for this candle to find itself closing, right? We can see that we actually had a strong closure over the course of last month, right? And like the last few days, we just find ourselves having that beautiful shift back towards the upside. A whole lot of momentum has been presented. So, hey, you know what? The monthly time frame on the DXY is kind of giving me mixed signals as well, right? So I won't put too much emphasis on my monthly time frame. However, you know what? With the closure of this candle, it does look like we can simply find ourselves still having that further continuation move back towards the upside. But then at the same time, we are creating a higher high, right? So it does look like we can also have that shift back towards the downside. By the way, if we are going to have a closure below that candle right over there, we are changing market structure on the monthly time frame from this beautiful bull market back into a bear market. That will be the only time I can be like, you know what, we can potentially see that actual shift back towards the downside, right? So monthly time frame is not actually painting a clear picture for me at this current moment. All right, so weekly time frame, let's grab that trend line out once again, just like that. What we can see price did find itself doing is basically having that beautiful first, second, third touch. Now, once again, if we can find ourselves having that closure below, right, we are having a closure below that monthly time frame candle as well, right? And what do you expect price to do next? Have the pullback for a further continuation move back towards the downside, and this is when we can see the Nasdaq have it actual, you know what, having a correction on the monthly time frame. All right, but looking at what we currently do have on our actual weekly time frame, you know what, we can clearly see that, hey, we are having a quite strong momentum back towards the downside. For me, Diego, you know what? This kind of looks like a bear market, right? Simply because we did find ourselves having a beautiful area of supply right over there. We came back into it for the retest. We came back up into it. You know what? Tested that beautiful fair value gap. We had a beautiful shove back towards the downside, right? Over the course of last week, we called out that we don't want to see the NASDAQ take out the previous week's high, right? And we can see we didn't find ourselves doing that. We had a beautiful, beautiful rejection, and we literally had a whole, check this out, 1,300 put move back towards the downside, which is quite a lot, right? Which is quite a lot. Now, if you want to see further continuation moves back towards the downside, right, my daily time frame needs to go hand in hand with that right over there, right? So I'm basically looking at my daily time frame as the following. Since we did find ourselves having this beautiful downside momentum right over here, I'm looking at this area as the high, which we find ourselves breaking, right? Not only did we find ourselves taking out buy side liquidity, but we changed market structure from this beautiful bear market back into a bullish market right over there. So with me basically saying that this is a bullish market, what I will find myself doing is simply grab that fib out from the low to the high, just like that. And currently we can see that we are tapping within what? We are finding ourselves tapping within a discounted area. So with me basically saying that we are finding ourselves tapping within a discounted area, I would actually start preparing for some beautiful, beautiful longs to find itself opening up, right? I am looking for some beautiful, beautiful longs to find itself opening up. But you know what? With current PA, it does look like we can see some further continuation moves back towards the downside, right? And my first point of interest will basically be this beautiful, beautiful inversion fair value gap we have found ourselves creating right over here. Well, not inversion fair value gap, but volume imbalance. We have found ourselves creating right over there, right, as a potential area to where we can find ourselves having that beautiful, beautiful shift back into for a potential continuation move back towards the upside. All right, that's the area to which I have my eye out on my actual daily time frame. Right now, if I want to see some beautiful bullish momentum finding itself opening up on my daily time frame, my H4 time frame needs to go hand in hand with that as well. And are we currently bullish or are we bearish when it comes down to our H4 time frame? What are you saying? Are we bullish or are we bearish? I hope you all are screaming out. We are still bearish, right? Because we are still bearish in market structure, right? Now, looking at PA below right over here, lining up within our volume imbalance, we did find ourselves leaving a beautiful, beautiful area of demand as well, right? So this is my area of demand to which I will have my eye out on if we can see some further continuation moves back towards the downside, right? So I would actually like to see us have that shift back towards the downside and see if we can have that change in market structure so that we can find ourselves looking for some beautiful, beautiful long opportunities, right? Because, hey, if we are going to look at what we have found ourselves creating right over here, what can you guys see? We can see that we did find ourselves leaving a whole lot of what? Equal highs right over there. And this simply means that we are having a whole lot of liquidity above this area, and we can see that we are having a beautiful area of supply as well, which price never found itself coming back into, right? So to me, Diego, my daily time frame is still bullish in market structure, right? All I'm finding myself doing now is simply preparing for some beautiful, beautiful equal highs right over there. So all I'm finding myself doing at this current moment is simply preparing for that change in market structure so that we can be looking for some beautiful longs to find itself opening up. Don't forget that we are also finding ourselves tapping within a previous opening gap, right? So we can have that potential change in market structure from this area onwards as well, right? But if we are going to have that closure below, just know that there is still then that high possibility for us having that beautiful, beautiful shift back towards the downside, and then only potentially see us have that shift back towards the upside, right? As if now for this week, the area to which I have my eye out on is this beautiful, beautiful area of demand right over here. And you know what? With us then having that beautiful shift back towards the upside, I will have my eye out on this beautiful, beautiful swing high we have found ourselves creating right over there, which is coming through at 18,000. We can say 18,900 as an actual target to which I will be looking at if we can see that beautiful, beautiful change in market structure. After that, you know what? I will see what market structure is leaving us to be like, hey, can we find ourselves hitting all the way up back into these relatively equal highs? Because ultimately, I would actually like to see us come all the way back up, back into those relatively equal highs. But you know what? We take it step by step, right? We take it step by step. And as you know, if we are going to find ourselves having that beautiful shift back to the downside, have a closure below a yo, we do know that we can potentially then see that further continuation move back towards the downside. And that is the reasoning to why I said that I will be quite cautious over the course of this week, right? But hey, let me know in the comment section, what is your thought processes? What are you looking out for this coming week? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Let me know. I'm curious to know. But other than that, it's me, your boy D. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. I'm out.